What's up guys, Adam here, thanks for joining me today. I've got an 18 lap quarter distance fixed race here at Magny-Cours. You can actually see on the standings we've got Corey in front of us in P1 who's almost 3/10 faster than us, and we've got Scott Tuffy who's a pretty huge YouTuber. He's got almost 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I jump up to turn on my fan, I accidentally turn on my light instead and I don't even realize, so I'll be sweating through this race, which kind of sucks, but here we go. We get a pretty good start in first, but we shift to second and spin up the rears, which kind of sucks. This is a very tricky start in this car. We need to feather the throttle first, second, and third gear, which is not easy. So, second is okay off the line. I was hoping to put more pressure on Corey, but our rear tires are going to be a little warm throughout this lap. It's kind of going to compromise just for not much that I would really be able to notice myself, but definitely not ideal just lighting up the rear tires on the first lap on the opening. So Corey has already pulled out a pretty sizable lead against us, 8/10, so that's not too great given that there's no DRS for the first two laps. Because I would have liked to stay within, DRS range entering lap 3, but it looks like I kind of compromised myself just by a bad outlap. And we've got Scott right behind us. He was on our tail a couple of turns previously, turns prior. So the goal here, not to let Scott by. I've never raced him before, so I don't really know how his pace is compared to mine. But we do have a slightly better ranking, but that doesn't really tell too much. Fast forwarding to lap 4 here, you can see I'm just outside of the DRS for Corey. Scott's been in the DRS the whole time, so the three of us have kind of just pulled away from the rest of the pack. But this whole voice chat, I just turned it on before the race and I couldn't figure out how to mute it. I ended up locking up because I'm basically too distracted by all this stuff that's going on the screen, which is totally my fault, but I figured out how to mute it later on, which is great. But Scott gets by. And I actually had DRS to Corey there for the first time of the race, and I lock up, which is really unfortunate. Things could have definitely taken a better turn for us, but unfortunately not. So we see here, we get to see Scott's line kind of for the first time, but we do get an off track. It's pretty tough following another car, but I wasn't thinking the slipstream was going to be this strong, the toe would be this strong because I had DRS. I pull out and he doesn't defend on the inside, and I really thought he was going to, and he kind of mentioned in his video he was wondering if I was going to send the move or not, but I was just gaining so fast I might as well send it. So fast forward to lap 6, this is my fastest lap of the race, so just wanted to show what a good lap kind of looks like. Kind of took some inspiration by really clobbering the curb on turn 2. Definitely opens up the entry on turn 3, and you can see here I just made the move on Scott. If you look in the relatives in the top left, last lap I did a 15.8. The leader, Corey, did a 16.0, and Scott did a 16.8 because he was a second slower than me because I made the move in front of him. So of course his lap is going to be slower. But even though I made the move on Scott, I still ended up having a faster lap than Corey, mainly because the slipstream was so strong that it just overpowered the compromised entry into that after the DRS, overtaking another driver. So I gained time against the leader. Scott ended up not so much, so it's okay, really, in the grand scheme of things. But we'll see here. This is my least favorite portion of the track, the final sector. You got to go really aggressive on those curves just to enter the chicane in a pretty open manner. The leader does a 16.0, I did a 15.7. So, and then Scott had a pretty bad second half of that lap, so he lost some time there. But the gap now to the leader is about 4 seconds. Once I knew that I really wasn't going to catch him with a couple laps to go, I just kind of gave up on applying any interest in this race and just kind of coasted home to take P2. So it was a really good race until I kind of made some mistakes. We're going to watch the start of the race here from the front view. I really spin up the tires, and you can kind of see my car kind of kick out. But Scott kind of files in pretty nicely, and we're away. Corey got a good start. Obviously, we're not going to see it from the front, but from here, this is where things get kind of dicey for the people in the back. You're going to see, look at P4 just get spun around. A lot of carnage happened. One guy's reversing on the track right there. Not really something you want to be doing, reversing into the flow of traffic on a racetrack. So, but Scott gets really close here. He complained of understeer at that specific corner, and I can see it. I can see why he complained. Car kind of just drifted out. But this is the incident where I lock up. You can see I don't even hit the curbs. I just lock the front right, which is the less used tire. You can see I lock up here. Have to take a base. Luckily, I don't hit the gravel, which is nice. But you're gonna see I pop my DRS open, as does Scott. That means we both have DRS. So obviously, I'm not gonna catch him or anything. That DRS zone is not super effective. It's pretty short with not much speed. I don't really know why it's a DRS zone. But we'll stick on this here, kind of the move that I make. Clobbering that curb there, you can take some gravel. But it's really hard to follow another car right here. I go off just slightly. I don't overtake while going off track, so I'll keep the pressure applied, just stick in the slipstream as much as I can, and make the move on the inside. Fortunately, he did not defend, but I think if he had more experience racing with me, maybe he would have just seen if I was aggressive or not so much, and could have defended. But it could have been a fun battle. But regardless, we both get some pretty solid points, I think. We're both happy with the result. And I ended up having the fastest lap of the race on that 6th lap that I showed you guys, so that was pretty cool. Not by much compared to Corey, but I could have definitely, I had 3 incident points. My safety rating didn't really get touched, but gained a couple, 20-ish points on my iRating, which is good. Still above 4,500. The goal is to get to 5,000, but I'm going to need to really make myself a better driver at that point. So happy I'm still getting these good results and racing against some fast people. So nice, clean racing is really all I can ask for. But thanks for sticking around. Catch you all in the next one. Peace.